Buckle up, folks. This podcast is all about diving into the good, the bad, and the ugly of our bodily, spiritual, and mental experiences. If you are not prepared to challenge your assumptions, laugh at yourself, laugh at me, or maybe even shed a tear or two, then you might want to look elsewhere. But if you're ready to get real, get honest, and get a little weird, then welcome to the Just Chrissy podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy McCammon. Welcome back, everybody. This is Chrissy, your host here at the Just Chrissy podcast. I cannot believe time is winding down. You know the part in the intro that says, are you willing to get a little weird? Today's that day, or one of those days. I'm sure it will get weird again. But there's this really important, I'm going to call it a gauge in your body that lets you know when things aren't quite right. And some people are just a little bit uncomfortable talking about this, my husband being one of them. And most people don't pay attention. They just don't pay attention. I ask them about this gauge, and they're like, I don't know. I'm sure if you are a client of mine and you had to fill out my intake paperwork, when this question came up, you were like, okay, that's a weird question. I'm sure those of you who are listening right now are like, what is she talking about? I'm talking about your poop. Yes, let's go there. We're going to talk about poop. So listen, your poop is a good indicator to whether what your gut health is like. It affects your mind, your mental health. There's a chart called the Bristol Stool chart that you can go look at. Just Google it and bring it up, and it'll show you like different things that you should be looking for. But like if you're reaching for Miralax to fix your constipation in you or your children, then we really need to talk about this, because first of all, your poop tells you everything about your health. And I know like some of you are really grossed out right now, but just give me a chance. Just listen to what I have to say. If your gut isn't functioning, nothing else in your body is either. What a healthy poop should look like, it should be soft and well-formed and easy to pass. So basically think about like a long tube of sausage, how it's nice and smooth, and it's just well-formed. And it's brown. That comes from the bile. So if your poop's not brown, maybe you need to add some bile to your regimen. I'll post in the descriptions, I'll post some links for this. It should be a daily occurrence. You should be going to the bathroom every day. I remember when my daughter was younger, her one friend only went to the bathroom like once a week. Oh my goodness, the backup in your body would be awful. But food sensitivities, which I think I might talk about that tomorrow. Food sensitivities, I know when I eat something that I'm sensitive to, it will cause me to not go to the bathroom for several days. So if you're not going to the bathroom for several days, there's definitely something wrong, and maybe make a consultation. We can work on that, but you should be going at least once a day. 2 to 3 times a day or after every meal would be ideal. If you're not going, then you are constipated. Your poop is how your body eliminates toxins, waste, excess hormones. If it's stuck inside you, then your body is reabsorbing all that junk, and you basically are marinating in it, and it's toxicity. Miralax isn't the innocent constipation solution that they tell you. It's polyethylene glycol. That's what it is. Number 3350. It's just another derivative of petroleum. And we have talked about this petroleum issue now a lot. Like Rockefeller needed to do something extra. He was running the petroleum industry back in the late 1800s, 1900s. And so then they started doing the pharmaceuticals. And we've talked about the toxins we just talked about the last couple of days. This is not something you want to be putting into your body, right? So first of all, it doesn't fix the problem. It's not addressing the root cause of your constipation. It's just making symptoms, or masking the symptoms. Your gut will not miraculously heal itself while you're dependent on a laxative. Two, it's not safe. The FDA has never approved Miralax for long-term use, yet people stay on it for months and years. And pediatricians are handing this out for children. I don't know how many parents I've had say that the doctor told them just to give their child Miralax like candy, even though it's linked to neurological issues, tremors, tics, anxiety, and behavioral changes. And on top of all that, it destroys your gut. It messes with your gut motility and microbiome, two things that you need for healthy natural digestion. And over time, it can make constipation worse. It doesn't make your gut healthier. What it does is it makes it lazy. It doesn't teach your body how to poop. It teaches your body how to depend on a chemical. So we need to fix the gut, because constipation is not the result of a Miralax deficiency. Like any of your issues in your body is not the lack of a pharmaceutical deficiency. It's a sign that your gut needs support. If you're in a car and your service engine light comes on and you take it to the garage, does the mechanic get in there and cut out the service engine light? Or does he go and he look to find out why the service engine light is on? When we have symptoms, that is our service engine light. And instead of taking a pill to turn it off or cutting it out to turn it off, we need to figure out why it's doing that. So here's some things that could help you. You need to hydrate. You're not drinking enough clean, mineral-rich water, so your poop gets stuck. And it gets stuck in the colon because it pulls water out in the colon. But also, if your poop's coming out and it's hard and it's pebbly, look up that Bristol stool chart. If it comes out and it's you're having a hard time and it comes out pebbly with lots of cracks and stuff in it, that's a sign that you do not have enough water. You have to nourish your gut. You have to ditch all the ultra-processed junk. We have to get rid of the seed oils. Also, you need to add fiber-rich foods like vegetables, chia seeds, and flax. And if you don't eat a lot of fiber, and I think we've talked about this before, but you need to add it into your diet. But you have to add it in a little bit at a time, or it'll maybe make you gassy to start with. But you literally have to address the entire gut. So get rid of the processed junk, the ultra-processed food, get rid of the seed oils, eat fiber-rich foods like vegetables, chia seeds, flax, and you need to get your minerals. We've talked about this so many times, but like the very first podcast was trace minerals. They are so important. If you remember, 97% of DNA damage comes from the lack of trace minerals. Magnesium deficiency is one of the biggest culprits behind constipation. So you could start with like magnesium citrate or glycinate. I'll put some links into the description to products that I like. And then move your body. Walking, stretching, and exercising literally helps move your digestion along. If you remember in the digestion podcast and in the walking podcast, we talked about if you would walk after your meals, how much it helps the sugar. But it is so beneficial. Even if you walk 5-10 minutes, it's so beneficial to your digestive health. Get your body moving. And this one, I'm going to preach on it again. Fix your stress. Fix your stress. Your gut shuts down when you are in fight or flight mode. So think about when you sit down to eat a meal, and I know this doesn't probably happen to anybody else, but you're having a disagreement with your significant other, and it's pretty significant disagreement, and then you don't feel hungry and you just kind of like want to push your food around on the plate. That is your stress shutting down your body to put all the energy into dealing with the cortisol that you are now in the fight and flight mode. If you are under stress, you are going to have stuck poop. Isn't this fun? Does it feel weird to be talking about poop? So your body was designed to eliminate waste naturally. If you're constipated, Your gut is really basically waving a red flag, screaming, help me. And Miralax is not the answer. It's just a temporary Band-Aid. I'm going to stick in the description something you could use to help you get things instead of the Miralax, to help you get things going while you're fixing this root issue. Real healing comes from addressing these root causes and supporting your gut with what it needs to thrive. So normalize talking about poop. If you're going to be around me anytime at all, it is a normal conversation for us to talk about poop. And normalize let's talking about our gut and getting our microbiome fixed. And literally your health depends on it. And if your gut, just so you know, like your gut is also the second brain. All those happy little hormones that make your brain happy, they are created in the gut and then sent to the brain. That's why the gut's called the second brain. So if your gut's unhappy, not only are you having awful bowel movements, maybe it's watery, maybe it's diarrhea, maybe you're constipated, whatever, but that's happening in your brain also. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, that some of the mental issues that we have and we're seeing now could simply be a gut issue. And another thing, if you have trouble going to the bathroom, one of the things they say is not to sit on the toilet for more than 5 minutes, because you're going to end up with having, what is that called, a prolapsed. It's like where the inside of your anus is coming to the outside. It also can create the hemorrhoids from the pushing. So if you have never tried a squatty potty, I think you can just buy them off Amazon, like $20. Get one of those and try it. That would be very helpful. But listen, normalize checking your poop, looking at it. What does it look like? Oh, it's pebbly. I need to be drinking more water. Oh, I'm not going. Another thing too, some people don't get enough fat in their diet. And so if you work with me, you know that I'm like, you need to have fat at every meal, whether it's olive oil, avocado oil, butter. You need to have fat at every meal. Okay. Hopefully you had your notepad out and your pen and you were taking notes on all the things that you need to change, like throw away the Miralax and then all the other things you can do to help your poop become normalized and that you're going every single day. If you need help with that, reach out. I'm happy to do a consultation with you to get things straightened out. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Till tomorrow.